So in this video, I'm going to go over the exponents and polynomials review that'll help you get ready for your test on Friday. So after going through this review, if you have any questions on any of the problems or how to do them, please be sure and ask me for help. So here's a question that's similar to something you may see on the test. So let's try simplifying this. So we have 3 times 4x squared y cubed squared over 2 times 3x cubed y cubed cubed. So this is one where you have to use our exponent rules. So let's pull out the coefficients we have in front and work with that first. So we have 3 over 2, and then we have everything with exponents. So we have 4x squared y cubed squared over 3x cubed y cubed cubed. So if you remember, the product of powers rules tells us that if we have an exponent like this on the outside, it distributes to everything that's on the inside. So same thing in the denominator, that 3 is going to go to everything on the inside. So let's just write out all our terms. So don't forget this 3 over 2 we have in front. Then on the numerator we have 4 squared, we have x squared squared, and then we have y cubed squared. Now in the denominator we have 3 cubed, x cubed cubed, and y cubed cubed. So now let's go through and simplify this using exponent rules. So we have still the 3 over 2, the 4 squared. So 4 squared, we're just going to do our regular math. So 4 squared is 16. And then we have x squared squared. So remember, when we have the product of powers, like x to the m to the n power, remember that equals x to the m times n. So what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply these two exponents. So 2 times 4 is x to the 4th. Y cubed squared will be y to the 6th. And now let's simplify the denominator. So 3 cubed, if you don't know the value of 3 cubed, do it on your calculator. It'll be 3 caret 3. And if you do that, you'll get 27. Now we have x cubed cubed, so we're going to have to multiply those powers. That'll be x to the 9th. And then y cubed cubed will be y to the 9th. So now I'm going to pull out all the coefficients in front. So we have 3 times 16 over 2 times 27. I'm going to leave that there. And then I have everything with the exponent. So I have x to the 4th over x to the 9th times y to the 6th over y to the 9th. So now let's simplify this further. So here in the left side, I have 3 times 16, that's 48. And I have 2 times 27, that's 54. Then I have x to the 4 over x to the 9th. Now I'm going to have to use the quotient rule. Remember, the quotient rule tells me that if I have x to the m over x to the n, that equals x to the m minus n. So I'm going to need to subtract my exponents. So this will be x to the 4 minus 9. 4 minus 9 will be negative 5. And then y to the 6 minus 9. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. So remember, my negative exponents, I can move them to the denominator and make them positive. So this will be 48 over 54 x to the 5th y cubed. So you can leave your answer like that, or you can reduce that fraction. So if I reduce that, that'll be 24 over 27 x to the 5th y cubed. And I can reduce that further by a factor of 3. So that'll be 8 over 9 x to the 5th y cubed. And that should be your final answer. Okay, so let's look at this one. It says the dimensions of this picture are shown in the diagram. Write an expression that represents the area of the picture. So this is a rectangular picture, so the area is going to be length times width. So all I need to do is plug in the given dimensions into this formula. So area is going to be 18x squared y cubed z squared times 4x squared y. So now all I need to do is use my exponent rules to multiply out these two monomials. So remember, I'm going to pull out the whole number. So I have 18 times 4. Then I have x squared times x squared y cubed times y, and then the z squared is just by itself. So 18 times 4, let's see, 8 times 4 is 32, so it's going to be 72. X squared times x squared. So remember, when I multiply my exponents, if I have x to the m times x to the n, remember that equals x to the m plus n. I add my exponents. So I'm going to need to add the exponents here, so that'll be x to the 4th. Y cubed and y, remember that's a y to the 1, so when I add those exponents, I'll get y to the 4. And the z squared is by itself. And that is your answer. So you would say area equals 72 x to the 4th, y to the 4th, z squared. It doesn't give us the units, so you can just say units squared. So now let's try this one. This one tells us to multiply these two polynomials. Remember, there's more than one way you can multiply. You can use what's called the box method. So this is 2 times 3. So I'm going to make a box with 2 on one side and then 3 on the other. So I have 2x squared, 3x, and then negative 3x squared, 2x, and 1. So in the upper left, I have 2x squared times negative 3x squared. So this will be negative 6 times x squared will be x to the 4th. Next one over, I have 2x squared times 2x. So 2 times 2 will be 4, and then x squared times x to the 1 will be x cubed. I have 2x squared times 1 here, so this will be 2x squared. The bottom left, I have 3x times negative 3x squared. So 3 times negative 3 will be negative 9. And then x to the 1 times x squared will be x cubed. Next one over, I have 3x times 2x. 3 times 2 is 6. And then x times x will be x squared. Then I have 3x times 1, so my answer is 3x. So now remember, my like terms will be on the diagonal. I have 2x cubed terms here, and then I have 2x squared terms here. And I need to combine all these terms. So I have negative 6x to the 4th plus 4x cubed minus 9x cubed plus 2x squared plus 6x squared plus 3x. So the negative 6x to the 4th has nothing to combine with, so I leave that. Then I have plus 4 and negative 9, so that's going to be negative 5x cubed plus 2 and 6x squared, that's 8x squared, and then plus 3x. Remember, if I have a plus negative, that can turn into a subtraction sign. So I have negative 6x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus 8x squared plus 3x. And that is your answer. So I'm going to show you how to do this using the distributive property also, just so if you prefer to do things that way, you have that way of solving them also. So in the distributive property, remember the 2x squared will distribute to the negative 3x squared plus 2x plus 1, as well as the 3x. So the 3x will distribute to the negative 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. So when we multiply this out, this will be 2x squared times negative 3x squared plus 2x squared times 2x plus 2x squared times 1 plus 3x times negative 3x squared plus 3x times 2x plus 3x times 1. So when I multiply this out here, I get 2 times negative 3, so that's negative 6x to the 4th, plus 2 times 2 is 4, 4x cubed, plus 2x squared times 1 is 2x squared, plus I have 3 times negative 3, so that's negative 9x cubed, plus 3x times 2x will be 6x squared, plus 3x. Now finally, I can combine my like terms, so I get negative 6x to the 4th plus 4x cubed minus 9x cubed plus 2x squared plus 6x squared plus 3x. And when I combine those, I get the same answer as I did before, negative 6x to the fourth minus 5x cubed plus 8x squared plus 3x. So now let's look at this one. So this is one, remember I told you when there's a subtract from, be careful in how you set up your problem. So it says subtract 2x plus 3y from the sum of these two polynomials, okay? So if I was writing this out in math words, so I know this is being subtracted from this, okay? So this says this is a sum. Remember, sum means addition. So I'm taking 5x plus 4y plus negative 2y, and I'm subtracting 2x plus 3y from that sum. Okay, so this wording is very important. Remember, subtract from means this is what's being subtracted, and this is what we start off with. So let's start off with doing the sum. Because remember, when we do add or subtract, we just go from left to right. So we have 5x plus 4y plus negative 2y. So that plus negative, that can turn into a subtract. So we have 5x plus 4y minus 2y. Well, that 4y minus 2y, that can reduce to 2y. So 5x plus 2y. So now this 2x plus 3y is being subtracted from that. So remember, whenever subtracting in class, we said subtracting is like adding the opposite. So what we do is we say this is 5x plus 2y plus, it's like there's a negative 1 times 2x plus 3y. So what we need to do now is distribute that negative 1 to everything on the inside. So what that does is it switches everything to the opposite sign. So we have 5x plus 2y minus 2x minus 3y. So now to add these, I just need to line up my like terms. So I'm going to go over here. So I have 5x plus 2y. I have minus 2x minus 3y. And then I just combine my terms. 5x minus 2x is 3x. 2y minus 3y is minus 1y. So the answer is 3x minus y. So on these kind of problems, be careful with the wording and how you set up the problem. And that's really all there is to doing this. Okay, so let's try this one. This is another exponent problem. So it says to simplify this. So I have a power, so I know I need to use that product of powers rule. So this is going to become 2 squared x squared y squared over x cubed y. So when I expand this out, 2 squared is 2 times 2, so that's 4. So I have 4x squared y squared over x cubed y. So remember, I'm going to pull out the coefficients, and then I have a bunch of division problems here. So x squared over x cubed, and I have y squared over y, which is y to the 1. So remember, when I'm dividing, I subtract the exponents. So I have 4 x to the 2 minus 3, so that's x to the negative 1. I have y to the 2 minus 1, so that's y to the 1. Remember, my negative exponents, I just move them to the denominator. So this is going to become 4y over x. Now let's simplify this one. This is another product of powers rule. So this 8 is going to go to everything on the inside. The unique thing here is I have a rational exponent. That's an x to the 1/4 times 8 times y squared times 8, because my exponent goes to everything on the inside. X to the 1/4 times 8, I do my rules just like I normally do. Because if I have x to the m to the n power, that equals x to the m times n. So 1/4 times 8 is going to be x squared. Okay, because if I do 1 over 4 times 8, that is 1 over 4 times 8 over 1. So that's 8 over 4, which equals 2. Okay, and then I have y squared to the 8th, so that's going to be y to the 16. So now let's try adding these two polynomials. Remember, when you add, the very important thing is that you're combining like terms. Okay, so I have 2x squared minus 5x plus 2, and I'm combining that with 3x squared plus 4x minus 6. So I need to combine these like terms. So I have 2x squared and 3x squared, so that gives me 5x squared. I have minus 5x and plus 4x, so that's going to be minus 1x. 2 plus 2 minus 6 is going to be minus 4. So remember, we don't usually write coefficients of 1, so this can be rewritten as 5x squared minus x minus 4. So here's another multiplication problem. I'm going to do this one using the box method. Be very careful with your negative signs when you have them in your problems, and make sure that you're keeping track of them. So here I have negative x squared minus 5 times negative x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to combine my terms. I have negative x times negative x squared. Well, remember, the negative basically means like there's a negative 1 in front. So negative 1 times negative 1 will be positive 1. And then I have x to the 1 times x squared, so that'll be x cubed. So that will be x cubed. Then I have negative x times negative 5. Well, negative 1 times negative 5 will just be 5, and then I have x. Negative 2 times negative x squared. Negative 2 times negative 1 is just 2, and then I have x squared. And negative 2 times negative 5 is 10. So remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. And then, let's see, we don't have any like terms on this one, so I'm just going to write out all my terms. So I have x cubed plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 10. And that is your answer. So here's the division problem. If you don't remember division, please watch the video that I posted that goes over division. Remember, what we do is we take division and we write it out as one big fraction. So this is 12x to the 5th minus 4x to the 4th plus 2x cubed divided by 4x squared. So remember, the first step is we distribute this division to every term we have in the numerator. So this becomes 12x to the 5th over 4x squared minus 4x to the 4th over 4x squared plus 2x cubed over 4x squared. So let's simplify the coefficients and then work with the exponents. So 12 over 4 will be 3. X to the 5th over x squared. Remember, we subtract the exponents, and 5 minus 2 is 3, so that's x cubed. Minus 4 over 4 is 1. And then we have x to the 4th over x squared, so that'll be x squared. 2 over 4 will reduce to 1/2. X cubed over x squared, 3 minus 2 is 1, so that's like x to the 1. So if I write this, remember, I don't need to write out exponents of 1 or coefficients of 1, so this is 3x cubed minus x squared plus 1/2 x. And that is my answer. So that's all for the test review. If you went through this and you have any questions, please be sure and let me know, and we will go over them.